Good morning and welcome to Transformation Tuesday. We are not at our usual time, so I apologize for those of you who looked for us. And we're here now. That's the important thing. How are you? I'm so glad to be part of all of you. So glad to be part of all of you. Transformation Tuesday is all about growth, growing, change. Change is good. Change is good. If you've got a piece of paper, I want to illustrate change to you. Good morning, Trish. Good morning. And thank you, Trish, for your time adjustment. Trish is responsible for all of putting up our videos. She does such a nice job. That's part of what she does to help me out. And Trish, thank you for putting up the video. I'm waiting for you to call in. Thank you so much. So Trish does that job very well. So I want to be sure to thank her. And thank you for just getting here. We are off peak. We really are. I just had someone who said, "Where are you? I've been looking for you." And so I had to let them know that I was not on. Sometimes that happens. That's the real adjustments that we have to make. Because when we make that adjustment, we're showing that we can change and be flexible. So I want to thank you guys. Good morning, Trish. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are ya?
I'm doing good.
Good. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much. Our thought for today, Trish, you want to start us out? What's it going to be inspired from?
Okay. Our thought of the day is it's okay to become someone new. Sure, some people may not like it. Change is hard, but that's okay. Just point your face towards the sun and grow anyway. Because I'm pretty sure that's what we are created to do. To change, to grow, to grow.
Okay. Change is inevitable. It's gonna happen anyway. The question we're asking for today is, what change would you like to make within yourself? I know. You say, "Why, Miss Nisi, I'm fine just the way I am." But now, are you truly fine just the way you are? Or have you found something that you say needs more growth, needs more blossoming? You know, we look at ourselves and we constantly want to change. For many of us, it can be simple, such as this: change of hair, change of clothes. Good morning, Texan. Good morning, and welcome. Where are you listening in from, please, and thank you? What state? Texas. I figured as much. I just didn't want to assume. And what are you thankful for this morning? Please and thank you. Let's all be thankful for something. I am thankful for fall. You say, "Miss Nisi, why are we talking about fall?" because of all the beautiful color. Love summer, but I appreciate fall because of the beautiful colors. And that represents change of seasons. What are you thankful for? What are you all thankful for? Trish, what does Texan say?
He says, I'm thankful I woke up early this morning.
Okay, that makes one of us. And the question of the day. Did you guys know that Vibe Talk has questions of the day? Go back, look at them on our reels for Vibe Talk Reels, and you'll find it out. Vibe Talk Reels. Question of the day is, what change within yourself? What would you like to change within yourself? I read that backwards, I'm sorry. What would you like to change within yourself or about yourself, Texan? And we're going to answer that too. I would like to change about myself the ability to allow myself to relax. Because I just don't know how to relax. I don't know if you guys have that problem. And when I do, I'm exhausted. Finally. What about you, Trish? What change would you like to see within yourself?
I'd like to change, when I want to say something, I always hesitate. So I'd like to change that. So just go ahead and say it.
I love it. I love it. You're already a beautiful person, might I add. And to be able to do that would make you pretty powerful. I think that would be a real asset to you. Texan, what is it that he would like to change?
He says, I would like to change the hatred from myself into forgiveness.
Okay. We're going to spend a few minutes with you, Texan. My first question to you is this. What makes you hate yourself? What did you do that has caused that feeling of hatred? What is the first thing that comes to your mind? By the way, ladies and gentlemen, our lines are open. And Texan, that's only if you care to answer. Because you said you can't let go of those who left. Who was most important to you that left you, Texan? Because you're going to be able to access yourself. Watch how this is done. Who comes to mind? That left you or your life? Who comes to mind? Because that's only the first part. Your grandpa. Were you close to your grandpa? Very? Okay. So you're close to your grandpa. And how long has he been gone? How long has he been gone? About a year? Okay. So you were used to seeing your grandpa, very close to him. I get that. Do you get that? The relationship, it was very close. So you would have need to miss him, right? But now, why do you hate yourself? Because your grandpa is no longer here. Let's access the emotion. Why do you hate yourself? Because your grandpa died, I take it? Is that what happened? Did he die? Because I don't want to just be saying that and assuming. So now, your grandpa died. But why do you hate yourself? Why do you hate yourself? You cannot accept that he's gone. Look at how good he's doing. My co-host, Trish, do you see how good he's doing? I love what you're doing. So you recognize 3 things in a matter of minutes. You're realizing that your grandpa's gone. You were very close to your grandpa. You've acknowledged that. You're aware of that. And now your grandpa has been gone for a year. Good morning. Is it hentai? I have no glasses on. Good morning and welcome into Vibe Talk. We're talking about change. So here's what you've done. You've made awareness to all of us. Now, that's a change in your life that you have to become adjusted to. Can I share something with you? For all of us in here that have lost someone near and close to our hearts, someone that we love, someone that we're very close to, what could you possibly hold on to about your grandpa or about whom you have lost? You still have a power of something. Does anyone know what that is? And Trish, you can jump in at any time.
Memory.
Memory. The power of the mind. What is your favorite memory, Texan, of your grandpa? If you had to pick one, what would be the first thing you would think about? What would be the first thing? Memory. I'm going to show you something. Because sometimes we say there's nothing we could do about it. But I want you to know that all is not lost. Your memory is so powerful. Grasp onto that. You can replay it positively over and over again. You said, me and him building a shed for my grandma to paint in. That must have been a lot of fun. Fun memory, right? Fond memory. I want you to notice too about Texan's memory. That was a memory that he cherished. Most of us say that's work. Well, look at, there you go. He's spending time with his grandpa. Hold on to that memory. I want you, Texan, to open your hands. Why don't we all do it? Let's look in our hands. You ready? We're going to shake our hands around, realizing what our hands can do. You also can write about that memory. Did the shed ever get done for your grandma? Let's start with that. As we look at our hands and the things that we find that we can do while we're alive. Did the shed ever get done for your grandma? Did you guys ever complete that? Oh, you finished while you were taking a sick day, so that's a yes. So it's all done. Look at what you did with your hands, helping your grandpa. Now we're talking about the mind and we're talking about the hands. The mind is able to recall memory. Many of us remember the negative. But I want you to hold on to the positive because you say, well, you can't bring them back. But now your memory can think about that time. Your hands have the power to do something as well, to grasp that memory. You ready? Hold your hands out, hold them up, and grab that memory. You got it? I want you to close your fist if you've got that memory. And every day when you think about your grandpa, I want you to think about this exercise because your mind will do whatever you tell it to do. That's what you can do. Hold on to the memory. Did anybody catch that, Trish?
Yes, I caught that.
So, what do you think? Trish is our co-host, by the way, Texan. We take all your feelings very seriously. So she is the only one in the room that's able to reply directly to you. What am I saying to Texan?
That even though the person you love is like physically gone, the memory is not gone in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
It helps the person to live on in a sense.
Yeah. By the way, I heard a song. We're not done with you yet, Texan. I heard a song, and the song is called Live On. Please listen to that song. Listen to the lyrics of that song. I really listen to lyrics, I gotta tell you. By the time that song, do you like that song? I'm talking about Olivia Newton-John wrote that song. Her and some other collaborators. By the time that song was done, I was in tears. Please listen to that song. Because it's saying everything that Trish just said. Living on. Going on with our lives. Processing. What is your need? Because we haven't finished the second part of this text, and so don't you go away. What is the need for you to forgive about your grandpa dying? What is it that you need to forgive within yourself? Because that's what you said. Because now you know how to adjust. And I'm not going to tell you that tomorrow you're going to adjust to it or even tonight. Okay. Are we getting somewhere or what? Ladies and gentlemen, fellow wellness coaches, pay attention to the technique. Don't give answers to your clients. That's the key to help them jog their beautiful mindsets and think about where they want to change. So now, what does Texan say, Trish, our co-host? Thank you, Texan.
He says, I didn't get to see him on his last day.
Okay. That's hard. Every time you think about that was his last day, not your last day. Think about your last memory. You know, the one where you were together with him. Did you spend some time talking with him when you guys built the shed for your grandmother? Did you spend some time doing that? Yeah. And how did it make you feel on your last day talking to him? What was that conversation like? What was the feeling? Not getting into your personals, but what was your feeling? Because you don't have to tell us detail. How did you feel in conversating with him while you worked on a project together? Realization of the hope he had. So how did it make you feel? Were you excited? Were you sad? How did you feel going? Remember, you've got the memory in your hand. Happy and well. I want you to go back to that memory. Because you see, that wasn't your last day. If I ask everybody in this room about a last day for their loved one, they're going to come up with something different. Understandably so, because we are individuals, we don't think alike. But I want to provide for you what your last day was like with him. I want you to take that power back and realize that on your last day with him, my, you were happy and well. Change. We never know, ladies and gentlemen, when change is going to come. Good morning, Keith Woodbury. Good morning. Where are you listening in from, Keith Woodbury? And thank you for joining Transformation Tuesday. Transformation Tuesday. Michigan. So glad you could join us. We are talking about change. What is the question that you'd like to ask him? The question of the day, Trish?
What would you like to change within yourself?
What would you like to change within yourself? And by the way, Texan, we want to thank you for starting us off. I found beauty in that story. Beauty. And the reason why I found beauty in that story, because it's your story. And I found beauty too because I didn't have a grandpa. I never had a grandpa. I don't know what that's like. Boy, I would like to have a grandpa and add some memories with that. Be thankful for that last day that you had with your grandpa. Does that help you, Texan? Does that help you at all? Absolutely. So now you know where Vibe Talk is. Stay with us. We're going to be talking about change. Change is bound to happen. Why, just us sitting here, we have changed a thought. Our thoughts have shifted. That is how powerful our brain is. Our brain is one of the greatest machines that we could ever have. We don't need to turn it on. We don't need to turn it up. We don't need to turn power off. It does it all in itself. How amazing is that, Trish?
I think that's very amazing.
Yeah. See, that's the power that we possess. But then when we think about it, we've got it from someone. Our Creator, Jehovah God, has thought about our brain. We don't even know what the first thing was that He chose to make a brain. Imagine that. The brain is so powerful that it can decide for you many choices. It can change its mind in a matter of moments, even seconds. The brain. The beauty of the brain. I want you all to think about it, because each and every one of you have a brain. You are not like the scarecrow in The Wizard of Oz. You remember how if only he had a brain. You have one. And the power behind your brain is so marvelous that it would take us years to dissect it. Because we don't even understand what formula was made to create your beautiful brain. No one has to think for us. Did you know that? No one has to tell us what to think. And that's why I like Vibe Talk, because Vibe Talk helps you to exercise your unique ability to be able to make a choice. So, in the few minutes that we've talked to you, we hope that we've helped you. We realized all of us here has lost someone. Trish, have you lost someone in death?
Yes, I have.
I've lost someone. The people that are going to come on here later after the pre-recording, they've lost people. So we have something in common, and you don't feel like you're the Lone Ranger Texan. I wanted you to see that we understand your feelings. Maybe you never looked at it like, wow, I have this incredible memory. I can remember that, and nobody and nothing can stop you from that last memory. That's incredible. Go ahead, Trish.
And with my grandmother, I never thought of it like my memory was a way for her being here with me. And now that I think about it, it's like I always say my issue was during the funeral I didn't get to see her for the last time because I was afraid. And like just now, I'm just thinking that I get to see her every day because I think about her. She's in my mind every day, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Also, there was a third half of that problem, Texan, that I want to work through with you right now, if you'll allow that. You said something, and thank you, Trish, for that, because you just reminded me that I needed to talk to him about the other part. How do you say goodbye to someone? Well, you don't have to. You can always say see you later. Because how many of us, when we leave someone, we say see you later? See you later.
I do.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be goodbye. The body and the mind work together for adjustment, learning how to cope. You know, it's just like some change happens to somebody, let's say somebody gets in an accident and their body and their mind are working together because the mind tells the brain, remember how I said about the hand? It tells the brain instantaneously to move the arm. You don't even have to think about it. So you've adjusted. You will learn in time adjustment. Not going to tell you that it's not going to hurt. Because if it didn't hurt, you wouldn't be human, you beautiful human. The brain tells the mind what to do. So now, how do we say goodbye to our loved ones? Try this. Have you ever wrote a letter to someone? Anybody in here? Have you ever written a letter? You said
I have.
You have? Okay. Have you ever texted someone your feelings? Have you ever texted someone?
Yes.
Okay. So we know what that feels like to get a message, text message, right? Good morning, Blanks. And Trish, you want to introduce him in here, Blanks? What do you want to ask, Blanks?
Good morning, Blake. What state are you listening in from? And what are you thankful for and why?
Yeah. Thank you for joining us. We're talking about changes. And our question for today is, what change would you like to see within yourself? That's the question of the day. Where are you listening in from, Blanks? And thank you for joining us. This is Vibe Talks Podcast. Canada. Nice. Thank you for joining us. What are you thankful for, Blanks? What are you thankful for? I want us to start thinking about what we are thankful for. Everybody's thankful for something one time in a year. When you sit down at your table on that turkey day, everybody says what they're thankful for. But we get to say it every day. What are you thankful for, Blanks? And while Blanks answers that, I'm going back to Texan. So about the health. Thank you. Yeah, a lot of people are suffering with health. Thank you so much. You're breathing. I love it. Thank you for answering that. So we're live talking to Texan on this morning's podcast on Change is Okay. So now we're talking about we're talking to Texan about the texting, about the writing a letter. Here's what I would like to see you do, exercise. I want you to give yourself permission to write that. Write a goodbye letter or a see you later letter. Doesn't have to be long, but something that you will get to do, because you know how I said that was your memory with him? I want you to have some kind of closure as you adjust. Because I'm sure you have memories all over the place from your grandpa. Because that's your grandpa. Keep those memories, but I want you to be able to write down to your grandpa. And you don't even have to share it if you don't want to. And I want you to hold it close to your heart. Or if it even makes you feel better, you can handwrite a letter, put it in an envelope, and put it somewhere that's safe for you. That way, as the living, you are able to allow yourself to be forgiven. Does that help, Texan? Okay. Try it. And when you do, you can even text that. Text it. You can even text that. Because, see, you're still living. Live on. That's all about that song. Please, ladies and gentlemen, please go listen to that song. Beautiful song. I didn't even know Olivia Newton-John had even written that song. Beautiful. I listened to it and I mean, you're talking about preparing somebody. That's what she was doing. We live on. We don't have to stop breathing because we lose a loved one. We are the ones who are living. We have to adjust to their not being here because they were part of us. And when they die, ladies and gentlemen, those memories will live on with you. They're still part of you. Why, you might even look like the person that passed away if you're closely related to them. Nothing changes but yourselves. Change. Change is okay. Now, what you all, we're going to do a little work project. It's going to be really fun. We are working on what we're calling life petals. Petals of life. How many of you have ever seen a flower in here? I know you're probably saying, Miss Nisi, those are dumb questions, but they're really not. You have? Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else?
I have.
Okay. Anybody else seen a flower? Blanks, do you want to be in here or do you want to go to another podcast that is more suitable for you? Because we're taking seriously this podcast. So serious that when I'm not here, I have people who actually ask me, where am I? Now we know that everybody in here has seen a flower. Now just apologize to yourself for your behavior. Because this podcast helps people. If it's useful to you, I'd love for you to stay. But if it isn't, maybe you might want to go to a podcast that's suitable for you. But this one is dealing with feelings and emotions. Please. There are people in here that want to be here. So just apologize to yourself. Please and thank you. So we've all seen a flower. Now on the flower, there is a center. We know what the center looks like. The bees oftentimes go to that center to pollinate. See, pollination of the flower is very important. It's an important part because a change is going to happen. And so, in that flower center, because the center comes first, there are petals. So I want you to draw a center for yourself. We've done this as a group, but for the new ones. And now I want you to draw just one petal. And I want you to put your most important emotion. However you're feeling right now, for those of you who are coming, you can even do this. And every day from here on out, I want you to keep adding a petal to your life. Because a flower has purpose. That's why I told you about the bees and how they pollinate. That's an important process. Adding something, adding purpose to your life. Changing your life. How many right now need to change something in their lives right now? That's part of our question for today. I do. Change something.
I do.
Yeah. Anybody else? Because we're talking about ourselves. Thank you for that. Texan says, I do. So upon changing something in your life, you have to put forth the effort. Because you know what's eventually going to happen as you add the petals to your flower that I just told you to draw the center and then one petal for today? Today's petal is called transformation. Change. Because that's what we're talking about. By the time you're finished with those petals, you will have drawn a whole flower. But today we're going to do one petal. How many of you have ever seen a flower dying or new flower with one petal on it? Anybody? You have?
I have.
Okay. And what was the condition of that flower when you saw it with one petal? Because I've seen it too. What was the condition? Withered. Yeah. Look at the brain and how your brain Texan is working for you. Be proud of that, the power of that. What about you, Trish, co-host? What was the condition of that flower?
I was gonna say unfinished.
Yeah, unfinished. Go ahead. I'm sorry, sweetie. Go ahead.
I said it's not done growing.
Yeah, not done. Incomplete. So you're looking at this flower and you say, wow, that must have been a beautiful flower. Because you're looking at it wilted. That must have been a beautiful flower. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to yourself by saying you are that beautiful flower. That flower represents life. Life. Tank top, good morning and welcome. My co-host is asking you, what are you thankful for? And what state are you listening in from? What are you thankful for and what state are you listening in from? I'm thankful for my family, North Carolina. Thank you for joining us. We hope you'll get to stay. We're talking about change. Trish, ask, what is her question for the day? Trish. Seagal, good morning.
What change would you like to see within yourself?
What change would you, Tank Top and Seagal, like to see within yourself? And welcome to Transformation Tuesday. So today's petal is going to be transformation. Each of your petals represent something. If you're a drawer, please draw that. I'm not a drawer, so I had to look for a flower on the internet. Make sure that you only color one petal for today, because today is all that you have. And why am I saying that? Because to get through the next 24 hours is a lot for somebody who's already going through a lot. Anybody in here agree with me? Just to get through the day is it's enough. And then tomorrow, what I want you guys to do, let's say you don't come back, draw another petal, because tomorrow is going to be Wednesday Wellness. And you're going to do it for the next day and the next day until you have a full flower. That's what you are. Sometimes you feel like you're going to die inside. Flowers go through all kind of changes. So does it not make sense? Does it make sense to you that you, as a human more superior than a flower, would go through changes? How many of you have been through a change in your lifetime?
I have.
And for those of you, thank you, Trish, you've been through a few. Thank you for picking up on that, because that was going to be my next question. How many of you have been through more than one change in your life? You're not dead from it, are you? Everything that you've ever went through, every change represents your strength. Maybe at the time you don't realize it. We all have common feelings, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody in here has been through some kind of change. A physical change, an emotional change, a mental change, some of us a spiritual change. Change is not bad. Change means that we're going to change into from something. Change from something into, right? I use the superhero theory with this because every superhero that has ever been introduced in my lifetime, they've always changed out of something to change into something. How many of you have saw that? Anybody? You have, yeah. I want you to think about that change and what your change will become. What your change has resulted in. Sometimes change can be good, and sometimes a change that a person makes can be not so good. How many of us have made not so good changes? People say you've changed. Anybody in here? You have. Thank you, Texan. Anybody else? I have. We all make changes.
I have.
Yeah. But now, like that one petal that has died off because it's been through some changes that has wilted it. It still was a beautiful flower. Nothing changes that. The fact that you know, even though there's one petal on there, it was once a beautiful flower. So how do we get back to that? Some of the flowers can return once you nurture it. Some. I didn't say all. So how do you come back to a state of being strengthened from your change? How do you come back from that? Because a lot of people don't know how to get back to that. What do you think, guys? What do you think we should do?
Can you repeat that?
How do we return from the wilted to the strengthened? How do we become restored? Well, think about this. If your mindset tells you something, remember we started out with the power of the brain. What the brain instantaneously tells you. When I asked you to hold out your hands, you didn't have to push any buttons. You didn't have to think about it. You did it. Your response. Then I said, hold up your hands. Remember? You held up your hands. And then I said, grab. It required effort on your part, right? Your brain thought to do something for you. So with the growth that you need to experience from the wilted one petal that you've all seen, because you all said you've seen that before. And I'm going to take you for your word, because it's your emotion. Now, when you're on that last stage of life and you say to yourself, I'm not going to make it another day, that's your wilted one flower. But how do you regain strength? Thank you so much, Texan. Where can he find us, Trish? Real quick.
You can find us on Facebook, the Vibe-Talk. We have a direct connect, 661-503-8993. Text message and voicemail available. And we have a YouTube channel, which is Vibe-Talk, all caps.
Okay. We're here every day. And we will be here. Well, thank you. Our Vibe Talk is Vibe-Talk. Put a dash between the vibe and talk. Thank you for being here, and we hope we've helped you. Have a good day. So now, going back to restoring the petal that has been wilted, that represents the dying off or the going through some kind of change. Because you didn't get it like that in the store, did you? That flower that was a beautiful flower and still can be went through some changes. How many of you understand that? Anybody?
I do.
Yeah. See, every petal in your life represents a change of something. I've dealt with friends committing suicide. Change. It didn't break me like a wilted flower. How did I come back from that? My nephew being murdered. That was my wilted flower. Well, it takes effort, doesn't it? How many of you have thought about putting effort and time into yourself? Because you are part of the process of life's petals. Every petal represents something. Did you all know that petals don't grow all at the same time?
I knew that.
You knew that, Trish? Some of the petals in our life are just like that. They don't all happen. Changes don't all happen at the same time. It takes time. Every petal of life represents something. So how do we blossom? How do we jump back to our wellness or jump into to change from that of which we thought would hurt us, harm us, and even kill us? We had to go through the experience. Go ahead, Trish.
And I think that's the thing for me, that I just have to think about, it's going to be hard, but it's not going to kill me. Like, I'm going to go through maybe a trial or obstacle or two, but it's not going to, like, destroy my whole existence. Like, it'll make, 9 times out of 10, it'll make me stronger.
Yeah.
And before I go into something, or when I change, I always think that, oh my goodness, this is going to have a very negative impact on me. And I think of what can possibly happen, what could not happen. Like, that's me before I go into a whole change.
Something I know about roses from being my mother's daughter is that roses sometimes get, the flower I'm talking about, they get wilty. And so you have to prune them. It was like, okay, why is my mother cutting flowers and she wants them to grow? But that's the reason why you prune them, so that they can blossom beautifully. That's a flower that represents what I was talking about. That's why you have to prune them, so that they grow. They can indeed revive themselves. You know, sometimes I remember when I was a little girl seeing those rose petals on the ground. And so I thought hey, that's a dead flower. And it is. It's going through the process of falling off the leaves. But every time my mother would prune those flowers, and they would grow right back. If a flower is able to do that, ladies and gentlemen, and go through all the changes, the extreme heat, the rain, the storms, we're far more intelligent beings that we will do the same thing. You are the petals of life. Purpose. You were created to change. You change your mind, right? Change your hairstyles, you change your clothing. You know, one day, maybe I just want to wear flip-flops, t-shirts, and sweatpants. The next day, maybe I want to wear a dress. And then the next day, maybe I just want to be in my PJs. Of course, I'm not going anywhere. But you see the average change of mind. What if we stayed the same? How would that look for you? And there were no changes. How many of you ever saw a baby? I've used this analogy quite a lot to help you guys get this. Anybody ever seen a baby? Of course you all have. If you live on Earth, you've seen a baby. Now, if that baby is familiar to you, you're going to see that baby again, especially newborns. Newborns change. I mean, like literally, you look at them and the next 3 days, they start having some kind of pigment. Check this out when you get a newborn, because it does happen. And you say, well, I don't know what they look like. Sometimes newborns come and you can't figure out who they look like. But then as the days and the weeks go by, they experience change. And you say, oh, he looks like his dad. Or, oh, he looks like somebody in the family. We've all done that. And they went through change. From the moment of birth, they've changed their process. So you must change. All things must change. And by the way, the change that the baby goes through is very painful when they come out of the mother's womb. From the mother birthing that baby into its hitting its first light in the outside world. It's painful. The mother is in pain, but the baby's also in pain. But now after a couple of days, the baby is adjusting. Because that light, it's the same sensitivity as if you were lying in the dark and somebody cuts on the light. How does that feel to you? What's your response? If that's ever been done to you, you're in the dark, you're laying down, and you're comfy and cozy, and someone flicks on the light. What's your response to that? Anybody in here?
I say, oh my goodness, the light is bright. That hurt my eyes.
Yeah, and I say, cut that light off. But now that light is representative of your new condition. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not living in the dark. And if you are, I say, come to the light. Pull up your chair a little closer. What that means when I say that means to really listen to what I'm saying. When you come in here, you're able to understand your process to grow in your mind and heart. Some of you have come from the darkest places. You are like the plant in retrospect of your having to grow from some of the darkest places. A flower comes from a dark place. It's rooted from the dirt, from the soil. Some of you come from backgrounds that have been painful, dark, reminding you of all the pain, present and past. But I'm here to tell you something. Your change is inevitable. Your change is inevitable. The fact that you have the one petal is purpose. If you've drawn that today. You have that one petal, that's purpose. That's starting with something. That's rooting you. Your mindset. See, I don't have any powers to do anything. I could tell you 20 million times to do something. It's going to largely depend on your effort to change, to want to grow. Growth mindset. Remember that beautiful brain of yours and what it's able to do? It's unstoppable. We get these gadgets, and some of us, like if you're like me, you don't know how to work a thing. So you're learning how to power it, you're learning how to work it. It's the same with your brain. You manage it. No one tells you. Now you get advice, you talk with your friends. Those are normal things. But it's you that has to make the change. My next question for you, are you willing to change? Grow anyway? Grow anyway. Some of you have come from the darkest places, and some of you have chosen to grow anyway. Thrive. Be rooted. Thrive. Mindset. So now, the sun brings us its light, its warmth. The sun is always welcomed. How many of us prefer the sun over the rain? Anybody in here?
Me.
You prefer the sun over the rain? Trish?
Yes, all day, every day.
Okay. See, I'm the same way. I prefer the sun over the rain. When I want sunlight, I open my curtains or my blinds because I welcome it. But now, storms in your life are like the rain that's going to come. I don't necessarily want to be in the rain, but I realize that rain has its purpose. Those are the storms in your life. They're going to create change. For without that rain, I might not be able to eat the food that's on my plate. If we have scarce rain, we're going to have a drought. If we waste that water, that can be a problem too. But you see, the flower needs both of them. That's amazing. Because they work both in different ways. The more that you are faced with the joys of your life, the more you can grow. But now rain causes things to grow too and renew itself. So the storms in your life create for you strength. Maybe not so much joy, because how many of us say when we go out, oh, I'm just looking forward to just being wet. Some of us live in places where we have torrential rains. And we say what? It's raining today. We don't say, oh, there's the sun, yay! Everybody's happy. But welcome those storms in your life, because they're going to cause and create change for you. Some of us don't like rain. Me, Trish, my co-host, and myself, we just admitted that. Oh, I hate driving in the rain because I know other people drive like fools. Why chance it? But I don't stop living. I have to face the rain as well as the sun. Go ahead, Trish.
I was going to say, that's exactly how I feel about the rain. When it rains, I'm like, I don't want to go to my appointment today. Like, I don't want to do it because it's raining.
Mm-hmm.
But my dad is always like, it's okay. The rain is still going on, but we still got to do what we got to do.
Yeah.
As the rain goes on, even though I don't like going in the rain, because people down here, they're crazy. Mm. They don't know how to drive in the rain. And
yeah.
I just don't like rain, but at the end of the day, I got to do what I have to do. As the rain goes on, I can go on too.
Yeah. Once I get out in the rain, I kind of, one time I went grocery shopping, it was raining and pouring. Now I knew I needed my food, so as I ran to the car, it was wow. Oh, don't make me cry. Thank you, Blanks. I felt it. You're going to make me cry. So many people do not do that, Blanks. I'm going to read this one. Blank says, I'm sorry, and I forgive you, Blanks. That took a big person to do that, Blanks. Thank you. Says, I'm sorry about your nephew and my actions before. It's not about me. It was a little rude of me. Good things you're doing here. I mean that. Thank you. Trish, you want to screenshot that?
I already did.
How beautiful was that? There needs to be more people like you, Blanks, because that's very humbling. Thank you so much. I already forgave you. Thank you. I felt it right from your heart. So I know it's genuine. Thank you. So storms in your life. Maybe you say when it rains, followed by what? It pours. How many of you have ever said that? Anybody? You got one problem after another. Well, you welcome the storm. You don't necessarily like it, but it builds something within you. It builds purpose. You talked about your dad, Trish. Your dad has to go on. You have to get things done. That provides strength. Our rainstorms are the strength. And by the way, you got more coming. Many of us, we prepare for the rain. When I was a lot younger, I used to love to read what the weather forecast is. Now you can't read the weather forecast because they don't know. They say it's going to rain and it's sun. And when it's sun, it's raining.
They do us wrong over here when it's a thunderstorm. After the thunderstorm passes, it says it's supposed to be a thunderstorm at 4:30, and it's 6:30. It's funny.
But nevertheless, what do we find ourselves doing? Preparing for it. Our mindset. Our mind says, hey, it's going to rain tomorrow. Let's bring in the animals. Some towns, because of the flooding, they go and get those sandbags and they go out. And you say, there's no rain. There's no rain. But you prepared your mind. And when we say it's going to rain tomorrow, it's going to have storms, you get your umbrellas. Those are the storms. You prevent yourself. You prepare yourself. No one wants to get wet. But yet, we still live on. How are you doing? Have you come in from the rainstorm? Go ahead, Trish.
It's like when I became more confident and more well grounded with my mindset, like not letting anybody tell me how to think. Mm-hmm. Like the rainstorms for me was that I had to prepare for is people they'll leave my side because of that, because they're not used to that. Yeah. And then that's a hard storm for me because I grew so close to them and things like that. And I thought, hey, we're going to be here together forever. Mm-hmm. But I had to realize, change has to, when you change, your whole atmosphere also changes as well. Like the people you hang around, that changes. Mm-hmm. And everything in general changes when you change. Mm-hmm. So have you guys noticed the change within yourself? Vibe Talk has been very creatively done so that I don't give you answers because I don't live inside of you. I will ask questions to help you gain access to your change. And sometimes we feel differently about things. You have a right to change your mind. Did you all know that? You have a right to change your mind. Sometimes people pressure you. Things pressure you. And they say, well, you said. Yeah, I said it. But today is different. Maybe I want to do something a little different. They'll hold you to that change of mind. Don't allow them to imprison your change of mind. For you have the master key. You are allowed to change your mind. You ever been in a store with a kid that is undecided about what you say, go get something? And they'll say, well, all kids want things. But you'll tell them to get something. And I've watched kids. They will have changed their mind within the 15, 20 minutes that you're standing there. You're in the candy aisle. They've changed their mind.
They want to get this, and you say, no, get one thing. How many of us have ever done that?
Me, with grocery shopping, my dad's like, you know what, just go pick out like 3 things that you want, 3 snacks that you want, and then come back.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I'm like, I have it in my mind. I want some Oreos,
Yeah.
some Takis, some lemonade. And when I go in the aisle, you know what? Let me have some Mountain Dew. Let me
change of mind. So you're allowed, ladies and gentlemen, to change your mind. Because the mind does that. Some of the changes you all have been through are very seeable, but then there's other changes that nobody sees. Change. Now change, when we see change, like Trish said, some of the changes you've not made anybody aware of. You know, some people have come in here, some people have been this or that. Remember, they've come from a dark place, some of them, and nobody knew their struggle. Nobody knew that. And that's why I dislike it when people will pick apart another person, because you don't know what that person has been through. They've had to overcome and go through many changes. I want you all to remember that as you come to Vibe Talk. Give every person the opportunity to tell you how they got to the blooming stage. See the flower that I just asked you, the flower petal? You're just drawing a flower petal to your center. It's going to bloom if you allow it to. Every day is an opportunity for you to be able to make an unseen change. Change of mind. Feeling differently. Maybe I didn't, for instance, maybe I don't like a particular emotion of fear. So now I look at fear and I say, wow, that fear is like the rainstorm. But the fear also brought me sun because I had to face the fear in order to get through the rainstorm. Change. But now, you say, well, I don't like these changes. We all go through them. People have been divorced, married. People that didn't want to get married now are married. People that didn't want to have children now have children. Because once you have the children, you can't put them back. LOL. Change. Change your shoes. One time I wanted to change my shoes. Went back in the house, changed my shoes. Can I tell you what I changed from? I had 2 different shoes on. But I changed my shoes. See, we go through life like that too. We are constantly changing, constantly evolving. Welcome your change. Change of heart. Very well demonstrated by blanks. Thank you for that blank. We saw it right here. People can have change of hearts. That's why it's not up to us to judge them. They can change. They can change, turn around your mindset. Did you know that your mindset could be turned around? You can start to feel really bad about yourself, and thinking about all the positive flower petals in your life, you say in a 6 months' time, wow, I have really blossomed from all the growth. Because you can't bloom until you grow. There's a process. You can't bloom until you grow. So you grow into your new self, and it's been uncomfortable for you, and now you're here. You have what is called a survival story to your life petals. And that's all life petals are. We work really hard in here. It's interactive. We work on different assignments. We had a wellness class. We still have it, but we're going to start using it on Wednesday. Tomorrow we will not be here, which is why I am late, because I said we cannot have 2 days where we're not here. I gotta be fair with you guys. Tomorrow we will do pre-recording. Interact with that. Tell others about it. What you face about yourself is you. Looking at you spot on. Stitch, good morning and welcome. Good morning. We're talking about change. But you did. You did change though, Blank. Look at what you just did. You had a change of heart. You just displayed that. So don't limit yourself, okay? Blank says, ma'am, thank you. I'm not sure I'm all that good at change. It feels like forever. Every step forward, it takes 3 steps backwards. Yeah. Those are your rainstorms, I suppose? The backward steps are your rainstorms? Would you say that, Blanks? Yeah. Accept that. Because you know what? If you didn't have the rainstorms, they wouldn't prepare you for the joys in life. Go ahead, Trish.
And you didn't stay in one spot. You at least moved. You took a step, and that's something. That's effort.
Yeah, you did that. I'm sorry, Trish. I didn't mean to cut you off. Blanks, I don't want you to leave here without giving yourself proper credit. What you demonstrated in here, you apologize in front of everybody. Give yourself credit. Allow yourself to experience joy from that, because I'm going to tell you something. How many people can really say they're truly sorry about something? Blanks just did that. You came in here one way, and then you thought about it, which was a mindset, and then you changed. So it's about your attitude. You are possible, Blank. We worked on that yesterday. Instead of saying impossible, I'm possible. Go ahead, take your 3 steps back, because those are the rainstorms. They're preparing you for the sun that's to come. And you can follow that up by a rainbow, because you know the beauty about the rainbow. Hi, Crash. Good to see you. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, to include your states. Please and thank you if you haven't already done so. Good morning, Crash. We're talking about change. What change within yourself have you made? What change or do you want to make? That's the question of the day. So back to Blanks. Our being able, and hear me closely, to face those rainstorms. They represent the 3 steps. Because nobody likes to feel like they're going backwards. But you're moving forward. After all, how many times have you had to apologize on a podcast? Let's see your forward movement. Yes, that's the question. The question is, what change would you like to make within yourself? I'm sorry. What change would you like to make within yourself? See within yourself. So give yourself credit. Don't you leave here blank without thinking that you're not doing something. You apologized. People aren't apologizing anymore. You had a change of mindset. Just stay positive. After all, how many times are we really asked to work on ourselves? Because there was something very pointed. Trish, I don't know if you saw it, but with Blank's comment, when I asked you to screenshot it, because he said, it's not about me. He realized that we are working for other people, but when you think about it, we're asking the people to become great within themselves. Become your best self, the best version of yourself. Become better at what you do better. Always remember that, Blank. Give yourself credit, because that took a lot. You didn't have to apologize, but it was your mind and your heart that moved you to do that. That's power. That's impact. Yes, I want you to. And you know what? He says he'll take it to heart. It's not going to be overnight, but give yourself. Crash says the change within himself, more patience with certain people. I'll vouch for that. I can relate, because I have no patience. I have none. But I'll tell you, I'm a work in progress. Just like that flower petal that you just hooked to your center, if you all did that assignment, it's going to take work. Just draw one flower at a time. Take one step at a time. Be open to the rainstorms, but prepare yourself for them, because they teach us something. Rain teaches us to drive slower, some of us. Rain teaches us that things grow. Rain teaches us to get our umbrellas, prepare. Even if there is a succession of torrential rain, we have learned to build better houses. We have learned to go out and get the water sacks. I don't know what they call them, but you all know what I'm talking about, so that the water doesn't drown. We've done that. Those are your storms. They prepare you for something at some time. You will face rainstorms. And aren't we so thankful for rainstorms? Because without the rainstorms, we would have no flowers to even talk about flower petals. You understand how that works? Go ahead, Trish.
And nowadays, rain sounds is like a trend to help people go to sleep. Like they said, it's like to help sleeping things.
So welcome. Thank you for that, Trish. Welcome those storms in your life. Prepare yourself. because it's going to require growth on your part. We are welcoming a call from Blanks. Good morning, Blanks.
Good morning, man.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to apologize for before. I shouldn't have done that.
Well, you know what? Don't make me cry. Because I'm a very emotional person.
I apologize, really.
Aww.
No, that was just it was bitter of me to have taken that moment that moment where you're trying to help people, just turn it into something dark. Now I apologize for that.
You are so
That was
welcome.
not me.
You are so
I don't
welcome.
want that to be me.
And I know that I feel your heart. I'm a person who can feel people when they talk. My friends oftentimes slap me on the back because they know that I know what they're saying, people, and they didn't get it. You, my friend, are the highlight of this whole podcast today.
I genuinely appreciate that. And I did not feel right just apologizing through text. I needed to hear from you in person.
I love
I
it.
needed to hear it. And I just wanted to say that you're doing great work here.
I try.
Helping many people. I know it for a fact.
We're trying. We're hitting people. I appreciate.
Because they say that if you help one person, you're helping a generation. So I genuinely believe that. Just watching you do your work here, because honestly, they both you, Trish, and I'm sorry, man, I'm not
Nisi.
but Nisi. It's a lovely name. Now both of you were the highlight of my day.
Thank you. We're marking this call because when we go through our year, we go back and we talk about the things that impacted us. And you certainly, sir, and I say this with tears flowing, you, sir, are the highlight of this whole podcast. Had I not got on here and did the podcast for today, I would have missed you. You are my purpose for things like this, and for you to apologize means everything. You're so welcome. It's forgiven. And anything that we can do to make you feel better, we want to be the people that really help. And I just thank you for being brave enough. Again. So I will play this forever and forever because you are the example of so many people that won't even say those words. You represent all the people that need the healing.
Okay. I said what I said. For the first time, it just felt like I saw who I was turning out. I need to change. I didn't like what I said. I didn't like who said it. And I just need to apologize for you and for me. I need to make sure that.
You are forgiven. Every time, I want to tell you something, Blanks, every time we do a podcast, somebody comes on, and it's always at the right time. We don't have anything that's scripted. Can I tell you another thing? I'm in California. Trish lives way in South Carolina. So we have no scripts to go on. But we know the power of change. And something I want you to do, as I have forgiven you with no questions, nothing attached, I want you to do the same for yourself. Because people are walking around, Blanks, and they haven't forgiven themselves. You are the man. Please believe me. And somebody's going to hear this today, and you're going to change somebody's life. Please believe me. Trish, you have anything you want to say?
That just Chris.
Yeah, it made my heart smile as well as cry.
Like, I'm just so happy, and you're forgiven for my whole entire heart, to my whole entire heart.
Yeah.
And we love you.
Yes. And where are you from? Because I detect an accent.
I'm not from around here. I grew up with my cousins in Texas. Yeah, it was a whole thing. So.
Yeah, because you have an accent. Keep that accent up. You're going to go places.
I appreciate that, man.
I'm jealous because I wanted an accent. I'm it's like, why couldn't I have had an accent?
It's just practice, man.
Listen.
That's all it is.
We appreciate you and your sincereness. And we know that we're all facing something. We're all facing something. And Vibe Talk is all about getting connected with what we're dealing with at present. So that we can become those beautiful petals of life here. And so we hope that we've helped you in some way. We're always here. We want you to be forgiven of yourself. Like Trish said, I'm with that. Forgiving you with her whole heart. I forgive you with my whole heart. I don't have any kind of resentment. Because you're going to teach us something about change today. Thank you.
If anything came out of that, then all the better for me, honestly. I just need to make sure that this is change one. So
I love it.
I was reading the thing just a few days ago. It was a friend of mine who basically made this poetic statement up on stage. And I forgot what he called it, but I just searched it up right now. It was kind of curious. I was kind of curious, so I basically searched it up, and it was there's this Japanese word. It's called kinetsugi, the beauty of imperfections. It basically means.
I love it.
It's the art of taking broken things, like broken pottery, right? They don't buy any new, like glasses or the bowls. No, as soon as it's broken, they just take broken things, and it's the art of just melding it together with like gold. With golden, they melt down gold and basically just try to put the pieces together. Now, the whole thing was I didn't understand, so I took my time, just generally tried to think about it, and I'm reading over here actually. Says it is the Japanese art of repairing broken pottery by mending the areas of breakage. And the whole thing, the whole concept, the whole reason for it is it's a metaphor for embracing your flaws and imperfections. Right? And it's taking those broken pieces of yourself and by God, just putting it together, like just doing whatever you can. Finding all the pieces you can.
Yeah.
And taking the time to actually like put the pieces together. And that's what makes it beautiful.
Absolutely. And we've had a podcast on that.
But I try to describe it as best I can. But
no, I understood it. And the reason why is because I too looked it up. So you're right on that. You know, the beauty of these inspirations is why I even built this podcast, because we're so impacted by these sayings like that one you're talking about. Completely get it. Completely. Thank you for sharing that.
I just felt like somebody needed to hear that.
Yeah.
I especially did, honestly, tell the truth.
Yeah. And thank you.
I'm the what you would describe as a rainstorm. No, I'm trying to hang on. Honestly, I'm trying to go day by day, trying to hang on.
And you're doing it. Look at you. You are that one life petal that you see hanging on, that was a beautiful flower and still can be. Look at the beauty in you, Blanks. Look at the beauty that you have been the example of the change, the need to apologize. You saw that. Because we would have went on about our day. But this one goes down in history because you are the example. You are what makes life beautiful. And if somebody can learn from this, I've learned from it. You inspired me. You make me feel like anybody that I've ever did something to, I need to apologize to them. Your power of impact in your beautiful brain.
Those are two high praises, man. I generally don't know what to say to that.
But you
don't know if I deserve that, but I mean, thank you.
But you do deserve, and I want you to give yourself permission for that, because let me tell you something. There's not a lot of people. If the world were like you and that people apologize, they would sleep better at night. They would not have stress. Look at what you did today. Whatever you're going through right now, I want you tonight, when you lay your head to rest, think about the good that you did, because you didn't have to do it. You did it. That's making the difference in people's lives. Go ahead, Trish.
And I just want to say, you did something, Blanks. You did something that people take years to do. Mm-hmm. Like, people hold grudges forever over. And like you said, you're just hanging on, and that's strength. You're very strong because you're holding on, just hanging on. Mm-hmm. And it shows how much power you have within you. And I'm gonna need you to embrace that. Like, yes. You really need to embrace that.
Yes, it's a beautiful quality.
No, it's true. Embracing is not my best suit. I mean, all my struggle is accepting that I'm not perfect. Nobody is, I know. But to me, it just feels like, I don't know, it feels like I just left the stove on. I can't, and I keep forgetting. And I just feel like there's got to be something that I'm doing wrong. So every time when I say that I'm taking one step forward, taking 3 steps back, I don't even know how to begin to describe the disappointment that I feel for myself on a daily basis. And honestly, today, this podcast, love team, just on the low side, just made me smile. And I don't know. I don't know about the whole accepting myself, or just like, I don't know. I don't know how to do that.
And that's what,
it's true.
I thank you for that honesty, but that's what, and with your honesty, that's what Vibe Talk is all about, helping you to see yourself as that beautiful flower. You are and I want to emphasize this so that you grasp it. You are that one petal just hanging on. There's always one petal on a wilted flower, maybe several, but there's always some that never fall to the ground. And I want you to realize that that represents the strength in that flower. Life's petals. So every time you hear that word, you'll associate it with us. We hope that today is not your last day. We do one-on-ones, okay, where you can actually be on Zoom in video. We do one-on-ones. We are here for you. It costs nothing. So if you want to set up a one-on-one, inbox me. You can text or voicemail 661-503-8993. That is strictly for Vibe Talk, not a personal number. Or you can inbox on Facebook, and we set up a one-on-one. On Thursday, we're getting into group, where we're going to be able to share some of our experiences. And if you'd like to come to that, it's going to happen right after the podcast. Our podcast is usually a little earlier. 5:30.
I have to think about that, honestly.
No worries. We just want you to know what's out there.
I don't know if it's for me.
No worries.
I don't know if I can. I feel like if I take this commitment, I'm just gonna fail at it again.
No worries. Today is good. Today is enough. You're welcome anytime to come here. You know how to contact us. If you feel like you want to be here, this is your choice of change. So, however you feel, you don't even have to feel committed. You're here today. And today produced a change in you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're thanking me. I'm supposed to be thanking you.
Yeah, but you're the reason of our inspiration. You're the reason of why we keep going. You're the reason of why I said, get out of my bed. I was tired because I went to bed at 4 o'clock. But you know something? There was a reason. And now I understand you were that reason. Imagine if I hadn't have been here, I wouldn't have gotten this. So you are my sunshine. You are the rainstorms that we can turn and change and motivate ourselves to do better. Because you just showed that. I want you to forgive it. Go ahead.
What was your nephew's name?
Monte.
I'm sorry, one more time.
Monte.
Monte.
Uh-huh.
I'll tell you right now, you're the blessed one.
I thank you for that. Because him and I spent many a days talking. I'll tell you that. Thank you for that.
Every day. He knew he had the sunshine like you. I don't know what that's like, but I know for a fact that just one day of this will change the entire world. And I know for a fact that you changed this world many times. Every day.
We can only hope and pray that we do. Because so many people are in dark places, you know? And it's
sometimes I don't know how dark it can get sometimes. And the scary thing is that when you're just surrounded by it, you just don't know which way to go.
Yeah.
Which way's the light, which way's not. I don't know. I don't know which way I'm supposed to go right now. I honestly just bumped into this. I've been in bed 3 days, starving myself to death, just hoping that standing there. I won't lie to you. I generally did not. I don't know. Some days just feel like I should not eat this food today. Take that one more bite. Now, I don't know if it's because of laziness or if it's just generally because I do not like myself as a person.
And that's what Vibe Talk does. It helps you to connect your feelings, why you feel the way you do. But I want you to know you have an impact on. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I want to know why. I don't want to be that anymore. So if
you said you don't want to do what anymore?
the sunshine, man. That's all I'm looking for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You want to welcome that sun. Absolutely.
That's exactly it. That's all I want to say.
We love it.
So, I don't know if saying anything is a change or not, but I don't know. I hope that it is. So I don't know. Man.
Well, I'll tell you this. Change is good. And the people that have come here, change has been good for them. Change has been good for me. Because we get to talk about our feelings and we get to change that darkness into light in connecting to our own emotion and our own feelings. And that's what I hope that you will do. I hope you won't forget about Vibe Talk and you'll find us. Go ahead, Trish.
Now, 5 days, I promise you I will not forget this day.
I won't either, believe me. Go ahead, Trish.
I just want to say that just as...
Good morning, Snazzy. Welcome. Go ahead.
Just as the days say, the sunshine, that sunshine that you're looking for is waiting for you. It's right there. You have the power to reach and grasp it and feel the rays on your face and feel the joy and peace and warmth that the sunshine brings to many, many people. It doesn't discriminate. It is there for everyone, and it's there for you.
It's purpose. Snazzy, the question of the day is, what are you thankful for? And the question that we're talking about is change. What change would you like to see within yourself? Hang on with us. We are at the end of our podcast. And before you hang up, Blanks, Trish, what question do you want to close us out with?
What have you learned or discovered about yourself today, and what was your experience like here today?
We're asking everybody that question. What do you think, Blanks? What was your experience here today?
I think I'm a better man for it. At least one step. I don't know about how many steps I'm going to take back tomorrow or today, but right now I took one step. Try to revel in that.
Living.
How the day goes, but right now I'm on a high. So
just remember, you are that one flower petal hanging on. Metaphoric, but it means so much. We want to thank you for being here. We want to thank Trish. Trish, thank you so much. I've discovered about myself the willingness to forgive. Just right then. Forgiving. And understanding and having empathy for someone. You've helped me to demonstrate forgiveness. Thank you so much. Because I'm working on that. Thank you. My experience here has been life-altering. Thank you. Trish, what about yourself?
Today, I learned that in the process of change, rainstorms do happen, but there's always a sunshine at the end. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. There's always hope afterwards. And my experience here today, it was very inspiring and triggering and enlightening and emotional.
Yes. Yes. We want to thank Blanks, Trish, my co-host, all of you that have come in here today. Tomorrow we're going to do it early at a regular time. 5:30 a.m. is our live. You can find us on Facebook at vibe-talk or hashtag vibetalkvideos or vibetalkvideo. Also, you may find and follow us on Instagram. We are always able to interact as a podcast, your feelings, your emotions. Today is Transformational Tuesday. Welcome your change. I wish you more change. Thank you so much for your calls, your Vibe Talk Reels. We will announce all of the Vibe Talk Reels, are the thank yous, on Thursday. We will be here Thursday live again on Think About Thursday. We have so much to talk about. Thank you, and thank you for your call, Blanks.
Thank you both.
You're welcome. I wish you more transformation. Change is good. Bye for now.